Hello, everyone. My name is Roger Lissade, and I love real estate. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be discussing how you can make money by spending money on apartments you already own. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So today I had a great meeting today with my BNI chapter networking group where I went up and I talked about a bunch of different things regarding the real estate, my background, etc. One of the topics I covered was forced appreciation, which is also known as a value add, adding value to your property. What that entails is usually you take a property and let's say the kitchens need updating, the bathrooms need updating, or just all around the units need to be gutted, etc., landscaping, a new roof, etc. You're basically going to do things that are going to improve the quality of the property, which in turn should result in higher rents. Now, one of the key reasons I got into the real estate business, not just as someone who wants to invest, but as well as a real estate professional, is back in, this would have had to maybe be around 2014. I was listening to a radio show that was talking about investment news, and during that show, they featured a situation that was going on in Miami. Apparently, a big developer was going through a very public divorce, and part of the divorce settlement was that he had a building that I believe at the time was worth about $500 million dollars that he, instead of selling, he and his wife came to an agreement that he would give her about $250 million dollars for the property. And the reason that was is because he argued, which I believe he correctly argued, is that, hey, everyone knows that we're going through a divorce. If I put this on the market, no one's going to pay anywhere near what, it's worth. Let me just, let's basically split what the market value would be. I keep half, you keep half, so we gave her 250. So that seemed like a pretty fair deal, right, guys? So it seemed like everything was going hunky-dory. So then, after that was settled, what he went back and did was he then went in, did some research, realized, or possibly maybe even he realized this prior to doing this, is that if he updated the bathrooms and the kitchens, put in, new countertops, new stainless steel, appliances in the kitchen, new flooring, maybe added some nice new amenities, redid the kitchens, that he would then be able to raise the rents by about, let's say, 30%. And let's say for argument's sake, just keep the numbers simple, that once we deducted what he was paying in expenses and what he was paying for the debt, i.e. the mortgage to cover the loan for the property, that his profits were about 30%. So if he figured out a way that he could raise the rents by 30%, that would in effect allow him, after about a year or so, to go back to the banks and say, well, because he raised the rent 30%, and keep in mind that his profit margin prior to raising the rent was about 30% of gross rents. So if he was able to raise that another 30%, he would affect double his monthly profits, which would result into either the doubling of the value of the property or very close to doubling the value of the property, which is in fact what he did. So a year later, he goes back to the banks and he's like, hey, raise the rent. I did a value add, did all this work. That in turn allowed me to raise the rents by 30%. My profit margin was 30% of the gross rents. Now it's in fact 60% of the gross rents. The property is worth more. I want to take out a new loan. With this, the value of the property was raised to $1 billion, and he was able to take a loan out for $800 million. which is about 80% of the value of the property. With that $800 million, he was able to pay back what he spent on the updates, which I'm not sure what that was. But the main thing is that when word got back to his wife, she basically hit the roof because she felt that she had been scammed or hoodwinked or bamboozled or whatever you want to call it. And basically she felt she had been taken advantage of, which I think anyone in her position would feel the same way. So they initiated a lawsuit saying that he owed her half of that money. And that's why it was on the financial radio channel I was watching, because the end result and why this was news is that she didn't get a penny of that money. And I know some of you guys are probably like, what? Huh? 800 million? I mean, that was value that was already trapped in the property. They had the property while they were married, etc., etc. Here's the thing, guys. When you take a loan out, that is not considered income. So I believe, I mean, obviously I'm not a lawyer, nor am I a divorce attorney or anything like that. But from my understanding is the reason that she was not able to access that money is because, in fact, he had taken out a loan against the asset, even though the asset had gone up in value tremendously because of the work he put into it. And I guess that's the argument that they had, that she wasn't entitled to that money because he raised the value of that asset after they had the divorce was finalized. And even with, that notwithstanding, he did not get income from that property. It was a loan. Now, here's the thing I want everyone to think about. That's a big number, 800 million. Who's paying that loan back? Is it the developer? No. It's the renters. So, what does this mean to you and I? It basically means that when you're dealing with commercial real estate, which is defined as 5 units or above, you have the ability to do that. Now, will it result in you, of a tremendous windfall like $800 million? For most of us, probably not. However, you can do that, and it actually, with the way the market is, and I know a lot of people are like, hey, Roger, I can't find deals. I can't find anything that makes sense. Well, some of the owners that I know, what they're doing is they're making their own deals. Well, and what do I mean by that? They're doing value adds. They're essentially looking at what the market is commanding as far as rents, and they're going out and they're looking at those units and they're saying, okay, so unit X is commanding Y in rent, which is top of the market rent, which is significantly more than my units are. What are the differences between those units and my unit? Now, of course, assuming you guys are still in the same neighborhood, same, general location, if you copy the upgrades that you see, that should result in higher rents. So in our neck of the woods, which I'm sure it's very similar in other parts, we're looking at upgrading to flooring. I mean, we have some vinyl flooring that honestly mimics tile very well. Granite countertops, which tend to, last the best. White cabinets, and probably a gray to white color scheme as far as the flooring to the baseboards, etc., things like that. And similar setup in the bathroom. One of the things you guys might want to try out there, instead of getting a new tub, you might just want to change to a stand-in shower. From what I've been told, that's actually more cost effective. And of course, we've got the white cabinets for the bathroom, the mirror. One of the nice tricks that I've seen on a couple of YouTube videos, I totally forgot the guy's name. I would have given him props because he did see it, is putting like little LED lights under the mirror to kind of give you that extra lighting. That's a pretty good thing to do. But yeah, guys, so for the guys that actually already own property, I would say that you guys should definitely do a little research, find out if the rents that you are charging are at top of the market, mid-market, where they are. And if they're not, definitely ask yourselves what you could do to get it closer to the top of the market. I generally don't think, unless there's something extremely unique about your individual units, that you should be charging at the top of the market. It's probably best to be maybe 10 to 15% below top of the market. That way your product is the best product at the best price, right? Because when you have renters and you raise the rent, but you raise it too high and they're like, well, I could find something just as good or better for that price, they're more likely to leave. However, if you only raise it enough so that, you as a landlord definitely get the extra money, but when your renters look around, they notice that, wow, even with the price increase, this is still the best deal. They're less likely to leave, and they're more likely to realize that, yeah, they're basically getting the best deal, which is exactly what you want. So this video today is going to be kind of short, guys. I'm just getting back into the swing of things, but just wanted to share that with you guys out there. Once again, you've always got to look for ways to make that money. And in some cases, if you already own property, value add, which is basically forced appreciation, could be that way. Anyway, guys, I will be back again tomorrow with a more detailed and thorough video. If you like what you heard in this video, give me that thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right.